Well, now on your feet at 5, we're still dealing with the trifecta of respiratory viruses, the flu and COVID and RSV, and now we're 3 days away from Thanksgiving. So there is an extra emphasis being placed on using hand sanitizer and just trying to do everything we can to take all the precautions we can in order to stay healthy.
Seems like we just can't catch a break. So senior health correspondent Monica Robbins joins us now to talk about having a healthy Thanksgiving, and you are not talking about food.
No, I am not. Don't be this guy. That's what I want to tell you about. But first, I want to tell you the good news is health experts believe RSV cases have plateaued, but flu is gaining strength and spreading. And of course, COVID is still around and the new variants are more contagious. That said, again, don't be this guy who feels a little icky, takes his germs to Thanksgiving dinner and shares them with everyone. If you have a fever, stay home. If you're getting over something and still coughing and sneezing, wear a mask. If you just tested positive for COVID, stay home. And get your flu and COVID vaccines, because it's really not about you, it's about those you love.
And don't forget those who among us are the most immunocompromised, the very elderly and the very young, who are sometimes unable to receive the vaccines to protect themselves. Be sure to do your part to protect them.
And of course, use common sense, hand sanitizer, soap and water. Don't touch your face. And again, if you're sick, stay home and keep your germs to yourself. It won't be the first time you can join the family via Zoom if you want. I know we usually see cold and flu season kicked right after Thanksgiving, but these viruses arrived early, meaning it may be a very long season. And keep in mind, this is the third winter since the pandemic started. Healthcare professionals are exhausted too, and we don't want to overload the system. So that's something else we need to be thinking about.
So there's 3 different viruses that we're thinking about here. What is the, go ahead.
I was going to say, not to mention the bacterial infections that you're at risk for if you get one of those viruses.
Yeah. How long are you contagious if you get each of the 3?
Yeah, okay, so let's start with flu. I'll start with influenza. It takes about 2 days before symptoms start after exposure, but you're contagious a day before and up to a week after your symptoms begin. COVID symptoms take a bit longer to show up, but you can be infectious 2 to 3 days before symptom onset. Stay home for 5 days, and then if you return to activity, wear a mask for another 5 days. RSV symptoms are typically 4 to 6 days after exposure. You are contagious a day or 2 before the symptoms start and up to 8 days after. And in adults, RSV may just feel like a cold, but in an older person or an infant, it could be a trip to the ICU. And that's what we're trying to tell people. With all of these circulating, this is not usual. So with all of these circulating, we really do need to take this seriously.
Okay, so knock on acrylic. You have not gotten sick. You are immunocompromised. You tell everybody that all the time. What is your secret?
I wash my hands, wash my hands, wash my hands.
You haven't had any of this?
No, I haven't had any of it. Have you?
I had COVID in July.
I had it in August.
Yeah, and you're still coughing and whatnot. Oh. And
it's okay. I think she gave me RSV. So.
Yeah, probably.
Remember that one time you gave me COVID?
Cough about a month ago?
Yeah, she still has it.
Still lingering.
But not long after she had it, I started.
So I think I had long COVID, and then it was like getting agitated by all these other things too. I just can't kind of break free. I feel much better now, which makes me feel good, but I'm still watching.
My fatigue is hanging up.
I'm also religious about my vitamin D3.
Yes, you are.
And you got it, especially now that we live in Northeast Ohio, and even though it's sunny out today, the sun's going to go away, get behind those clouds, and definitely that's something, your vitamin D helps your immune system.
Well, that's interesting.
So, yeah, so vitamin D3, if
it
you're not
works. You're living proof of it.
You know what? I did have COVID, and if I didn't do what I do for a living, and I had COVID in the beginning of the pandemic.
Way back, yeah.
And if I didn't do what I do for a living, I never would have known I had it.
Sure.
I mean, I had some mild symptoms, but that was it. The only way I knew is I lost my smell.
Oh. I felt like I got hit by a truck.
Yeah, and that's the thing. So, you know, if you're going to do anything, I know a lot of people want to inhale the vitamin C and everything. Get most of your vitamins from food, but if you're going to take anything, especially living here, take vitamin D3 and talk to your doctor about getting your levels tested and which type you should use.
Yeah, most of us here are D deficient.
Yes.
Because we go inside for 7 months.
Your healthcare professionals know exactly what you should be doing, so talk to them about the D3.
Mom, thanks.
That's our girl.
Appreciate
Thank you
it.
so much.